I'm not sure what the context is for this circle of animal head sculptures, but I love them. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Robert from ThrillRite.com. How you doing? So yeah, I'm back here at the LA County Museum of Art. It's a fantastic museum here in downtown, close to downtown Los Angeles, and clustered together with a whole bunch of amazing museums, including the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures and the Peterson Automotive Museum, other locations I also love to death. But I'm back here at LACMA today specifically for an installation I've been wanting to come take a look at for a while. When I was a kid, growing up playing with Hot Wheels was one of my all-time favorite things to do, and I had a bunch of sets, strung them all together to make huge layouts with multiple booster tracks and loops and all that kind of good stuff. And this piece in particular is kind of like the ultimate Hot Wheels playset. Somebody has created a cityscape in miniature with innumerable moving parts, and yeah, it's kind of right up my alley. And of course, you know, there's always a lot of really cool exhibits here at LACMA, and it's been too long since I've come to partake in some of the modern art here. So yeah, let's go inside and take a look around. Well, I'm always happy to find an excuse to come back and take a look at this amazing art installation here, Urban Light, which is right outside LACMA. And yeah, this was a part of a video I shot a couple of years back. And if you haven't seen that yet, you might want to check it out. It's a look at this amazing installation, especially at night. It's pretty magical. And again, apparently has become the most photographed location in Los Angeles, superseding the Hollywood sign. And I kind of believe it. A lot more accessible these days. And there's the huge glass sphere that's part of the Academy Museum. And right now they've got an exhibit on Jaws for its 50th anniversary. Something I also want to come check out at some point, but that's for another day. So the specific exhibit that drew me here today is in this building here. Now there is a Broad Museum, but this, the Broad Contemporary Art Museum, is actually part of LACMA. So it's a little confusing. I'm just learning this today, actually. But all right, let's head on in. Eli and Edith Broad are lifelong philanthropists and patrons of the arts as founders of the Broad Foundations, which they established to advance entrepreneurship for the public good in education, science, and the arts. Bravo, and thank you both. Yeah, this is a pretty immersive installation. Might come back and take a look at this at some point. But here is what I came to see. And it is called Metropolis II. And it sort of comes to life every hour for half an hour. So the next show is scheduled to start fairly soon. But look at the complexity of this build. Oh man. And you can see sort of the main chain lift for all the vehicles, that multi-lane highway that heads up, and then the cars all run through this insane installation. Look at that. Got an Eiffel Tower in there. It's kind of an amalgam of all kinds of cities and all kinds of different materials too. There's some what looks like erector set style stuff, wood blocks, plastic paneling, even ceramic tiles. Oh yeah. Oh, fantastic. And it's pretty amazing to look at in stillness. But when things start to go kinetic, I think it's going to be a whole nother level of awesome. And if you look deep inside into the core, you can see how many vehicles are actually on this track. I mean, there's got to be hundreds, I'm going to look for some informational panel that may explain exactly how many cars are inside this beast. Seems to be a kind of mid-century modern structure here. And the disco ball dome on top is also quite appealing. Oh yeah, oh look, there's train tracks. So there's multiple kinds of vehicle movement here. So fantastic. Oh yeah. I kind of appreciate being here in this still of the moments before it does indeed spring into action. Oh, look at that. Yeah. You can see buried in there too. There's a blue, looks like a commuter train. So look for that moving in the tracks. Oh, and here's a little shuttle. Looks like a streetcar, yeah, with an electric power source overhead. Awesome. Well, there's all the details. Chris Burton. Oh, artist passed in 2015. Metropolis II, 2011. DC motors, electronic controls and sensors, custom die-cast cars, HO scale train sets, neodymium magnets, steel, aluminum, copper wire, copper sheet, brass, plastics, assorted wood products, tiles, acrylic, and oil-based paints, rubber, and adhesives. Yeah, that's complex. The longer you stand still and really look, the more you start to see the number of different vehicles, like the additional streetcar trains and commuter trains. And there is a lot going on in here. I think they are powering everything up. Yeah, here we go. I bet the startup and shutdown procedure takes a bit of time. And there it goes. One hill. Oh yeah, coming to life. Oh wow. Look at this. This tickles me to no end. Oh my gosh, love this so much. As somebody who lives full-time in a city that pretty much demands owning a car, this speaks to me. Oh wow. There's a part of me that feels like we might actually see this version of a city down the road. I hope not, but you never know. But I do love that they included this balcony up here so you can get a bird's eye view down into the All the chaos going on. It's actually not chaotic. It's so smooth and hypnotic to watch. And the kind of drone, the white noise of the sound of the cars navigating the track is, it's really kind of relaxing. Yeah, I could watch this all day. Well, you can see in the center of this construct all the, looks like the transformers that are used to power all the systems in here. That's pretty amazing. So I'm trying to wrap my head around how someone designs this kind of piece, because the complexity of it and figuring out how all these parts, moving and otherwise, fit together has got to have been a staggering undertaking. Like, you really need to have a mind for detail. The more you walk around and really pay attention to all the detail, the more detail you notice. It's a remarkably engaging piece on that level. It begs careful and quiet observation. Everybody's definition of art is different. It's kind of subjective, but to me, this is a masterpiece. Well, it looks like the city is going back to sleep. And there we go. Back to silence. Relative quiet, anyway. Well, that was magical. Well, there you go. And again, the exhibit is powered up at the top of the hour, every hour, I think starting at 11, and then runs for about half an hour. So you really get a good chance to soak it up from as many angles as you possibly can. Yeah, that was worth the price of admission right there. And this art piece was created by Robert Irwin, and it's called Miracle Mile. With Miracle Mile, Robert Irwin reconsiders the properties of light, material, and color. This site-specific work subtly plays with the architecture in which it is housed and responds to both Wilshire Boulevard and Primal Palm Garden, an outdoor installation Irwin created at LACMA in 2008. Richard Serra's band. Band ranks with Richard Serra's greatest achievements. It represents the fullest expression of the formal vocabulary proffered by his monumental steel arcs and torqued ellipses of the 1980s and 1990s. Among the most formally elegant and technically complex of Serra's works, the sculpture took him 2.5 years to develop, and he describes band as a completely new form for me. Huh. Serra's art has always forcefully asserted its materiality and evinced the process of its fabrication. Band is a daunting display, evoking the almost incomprehensible mechanics of handling some 200 tons of hot steel and the precision engineering that goes into shaping it, as well as the placing of its component parts, which requires accuracy to within a single millimeter. That's impressive. So this video projection installation is also very intriguing. Right hand, thumb, left hand, first, second, thumbs, first, I do love all art, but I think multimedia art and art that is more than two-dimensional is kind of my favorite. So this piece was created by Bruce Nauman, who does a lot of multimedia art that seems to be on a pretty grand scale. And apparently this piece is called For Beginners, All the Combinations of the Thumb and Finger, from 2010, which engages a similar conceptual approach. It transforms a simple physical exercise into a meditative repetition of instructions that question the meaning of language. For Beginners also recalls Nauman's early performance-based videos that test both the viewer's and the artist's endurance. Wild. So this is a new exhibit called Grounded, which explores how human experience is embedded in the land, presenting the work of artists who endow it with meaning. The land is where their families were born and where they travel. It is where they build their homes and bury their dead. Drawing on these experiences, artists working in the Americas and regions of the Pacific engage with indigenous mythologies and motifs to interpret their heritage. They retell ancestral histories and recreate traditions, forging new aesthetic languages. And according to the information panel, recycling of materials is also a theme in a lot of the art pieces here. And this sculpture in the center certainly seems to apply a lot of recycled materials, including these adorable, I guess those are some kind of pine cone?
I can't help but think of California raisins.
California raisins, that is a good recollection, absolutely. So this piece by artist Guillermo Bert called La Bestia, and it's a wood, acrylic, paint, gesso, fiber, a bunch of other materials, and the artist centered the image of La Bestia, the beast, the dangerous network of trains used by migrants from Mexico and Central America on their way to the United States. Riders often take the journey on top of train cars, sometimes at deadly risk. While visiting his native Chile, Bert noticed that the geometric motif textiles made by Mapuche weavers resembled QR codes. Since 2010, he's collaborated with Mapuche, Navajo, Maya, Mixtec, and Zapotec communities to create fabrics that tell the stories of indigenous migrants. So this amazing piece is created by artist Jeffrey Gibson called No Simple Word for Time from 2014. And I'm very impressed by the materials used in its fabrication. You've got a wool army blanket, glass beads, rawhide, Mongolian goat fur, quartz crystals, tin jingles, artificial sinew, nylon thread, metal wire, steel rod, aspen wood base. And this is a painting by artist Michael Alvarez called Neighborhood Watch. And looking at some of the details, I've driven down streets of LA that very much have this vibe. This is a beautiful night photo called A Night to Remember by Guadalupe Rosales. And along with being an incredible image, it's got an amazing frame. Look at that. It's like engraved. Yeah. That is unexpected and very cool. Here's another very impressive multimedia piece by an artist whose name is Abraham Cruz Villagas. I'm mispronouncing that terribly, I'm sure. And the name of the piece is Auto con Canzone 5 from 2016. And it's one of 10 sculptures that form an inventory of cars that the artist grew up with. This piece features the backseat of a 1970 Oldsmobile. It's navy vinyl worn to a ruddy patina through years of use. And I've been hearing a little bit of NPR playing in the background, and of course that is coming from this little transistor radio that is hanging from the piece. Apparently it gets a whole mishmash of sports radio, Banda, NPR, punk rock, Navajo talk radio, and Korean pop. That does capture some of the soundscape of LA. And this is a piece by artist Jackie Amezquita. And I won't try to pronounce the Spanish name, but it is called The Soil That Feeds Us. So the artist collected soil from 144 neighborhoods of Los Angeles and blended it with masa, which is some sort of a corn dough, salt, rain, limestone, and copper. And her choice of masa was informed by the memory of making tortillas and tamales with her grandmother. Amazing. Into each mixture, the artist carved scenes of everyday life. And here's a photograph that has the same name as the exhibition itself, called Grounded. And it's quite beautiful. I had to look at it for a few minutes before I realized, the shape in the foreground is a human. Kind of blends into the natural landscape. That's pretty cool. LACMA recognizes that we occupy land in Los Angeles County, originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tongva, Tataviam, Serrano, Kiz, and Chumash peoples. We honor and pay respect to their elders and descendants, past, present, and emerging, as they continue their stewardship of the lands and waters in Los Angeles County. And here's a multimedia sculpture called Sip A. And that is a pretty soulful face on that piece. Well, as is typical in Southern California, the morning clouds have indeed finally burned away, and it's warming up. It's going to be another warm week coming up. But I think that is going to bring this one to a close. So, as always, thank you so much for coming along, and hope you enjoyed a quiet morning of art appreciation, along with a look at, again, one of my favorite Kinetic sculptures of all time now. I'm putting Metropolis II way up there. It's pretty great. And the fact that you are still watching warms my heart. I'm so grateful, and would only ask that you might consider giving the video a like, or sharing, or even subscribing. That would be awesome. And of course, a great way to support the channel is through a purchase of a Thrill Rags t-shirt. If you visit thrillrags.com and check out the designs available, the faux vintage dark ride and park logo shirt designs. And again, we got more coming very soon, so please stay tuned for that. All right, in the meantime, take care, and we'll catch you in the next one.
So there's more. Thank you.